All right, well, love him or hate him, you have to listen to him. He's Danny Sabatello. Danny, the fight is getting closer, man. Talk to me. How's the energy right now that it's finally time to step into that cage again?
Yeah, the energy always is high. Whether it's next week or the fight is 9 weeks away, I'm just a high energy type guy. Very passionate, motivated, and energetic. So of course, always high energy. But now that it's just next Friday night, it just makes it even sweeter. And finally, it's fucking here. This is a guy I've envisioned smashing his fucking face for a while now. Since the tournament got going, I'd be lying if I said my sights were only on Jornel Lugo. I knew I was going to get past him and I knew I was going to fight Higo. So it's nice to just finally be here and I get to show out next Friday night.
I love it, man. Leandro Higo, he has not just sat back and listened to you; he's fired some shots back as well. I guess. How have you taken his banter with you online, if we will?
Yeah, I fucking love it. That's just a notification to me to show that I'm already in his head. I went back in his past interviews and his past fights, and he doesn't really talk trash. He's very respectful. He doesn't say shit about his opponents. But when you're fighting Danny Sabatello, everything's different. I've already changed his ways. I already got him talking trash. So I already know I'm in his head. I think I got this one already wrapped up. I think when he goes into that cage, it's going to be a little bit more pressure than he's used to. This is foreign territory to him. He's not used to talking that trash. He's going to feel the pressure. He's going to feel the bright lights. He's going to feel the more eyeballs on him. His legs are going to feel a little bit heavier, and I think he's going to gas out a little bit quicker. And that's just my game plan. I believe in mental warfare a lot. I take full advantage of it. And plus, just talking trash is just fun to me. So it's just an added bonus. It's a win-win to me. I have fun doing it, and I'm getting in these guys' heads. I'm already in Higo's head. I love that he's talking trash to me, and it's only going to make it even more exciting.
I was going to ask you about that because it seems to me like you just love doing this. Like you just have a great time talking the way you talk. But at the same time, we have seen over time in mixed martial arts, it can really be used as mental warfare, right? So, I mean, is it 50-50? Is it one more the other? I mean, how strategic is what you do versus just having a good time?
Yeah, it's just a perfect mix of both. I would say 50-50. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. If I'm competing, I'm going to be talking shit. We could be playing pinball. It could be a thumb war or whatever. I'm going to talk shit just because it's fun. But man, this is a fucking crazy sport. The people that are doing this sport understand the risks and they are high. When you're going in there in that cage, some people don't even make it out of the cage. And that's a lot to think about over 9 weeks of training camp. And it could get to your head. You compound that with some dude that's going in there to try to kill you, it just makes things a little bit stickier. A lot of times when you're going in there and you act like you're friends with the guy and you shake hands and you touch gloves, it's just a false sense of security. It makes these guys more comfortable that, hey, nothing's going to happen. He's my friend. You know what? When you got a guy over there that's wholly intention is just to bash your fucking face in, it gets your nerves a little bit high. It gets your adrenaline pumping. And it's just great for me just because that's just familiar territory to me. When I'm going in there and I'm talking trash and I have all that extra pressure, that's what I'm looking for. That's when Danny Sabatello shines his brightest, is when there is added pressure. Give me all the pressure. Give me all the fucking eyeballs. Give me the bright lights. Give me the biggest and baddest situation. And I think that's when I show out. And that's when a lot of these guys become pussies and they shell up and they have bad performances. And I can tell you one thing, Higo's a pussy and he is going to shell up and have a bad performance because he is not a mentally tough guy. He's a guy that misses weight all the fucking time. And who the hell likes making weight? Nobody likes making weight. But if you're a man, you fucking do it. You say you're going to do something, you do it. He's volunteered to make bantamweight. He's missed it multiple times. So he's a mental midget, and I'm going to take full advantage of it.
Yeah, I hate to bring that part of it up, but I mean, he has missed weight. I thought it was almost a little bit surprising to include him in a Grand Prix, right? Because a missed weight can really throw things off. So have you and your team talked about that at all? Like, how do you handle it if he does happen to show up and miss weight?
Yeah, I haven't put too much stock into it just because June 24th, we are fighting no matter what. Even if he doesn't make weight, I'm still going to accept the fight. And sometimes if you miss weight by a large margin, the commission doesn't even sanction it. So if that's the case, I'm going to find him in the parking lot and beat the shit out of him. So either way, June 24th, we are going to be fighting. I don't think he's going to make the weight. Not only is it going to be him making weight for the first time in 3 fights, but it's at 135 championship weight, not 136. So I don't think he'll make the weight, but I don't really care too much. Either way, we're going to fight. Either way, I am going to advance. Either way, I am going to win. But yeah, it just makes me even more pissed off and makes me want to fight him even more. It's why it makes this fight personal, is because I feel like it's my job to punish this guy for missing weight and putting a bad staple on MMA with all his weight misses. He missed weight his last fight. He missed weight his fight 2 fights ago. So this guy is just very immature. He's not very professional, and it's my duty to beat the fuck out of him for it.
I know you said you like the added pressure, you like the eyeballs. I guess, how has it been? I feel like the attention around you these past couple months, especially, has grown dramatically. But that means, of course, haters to go along with the people that are supporting you as well. So I don't know, how have you found that kind of increased spotlight? Has it been enjoyable, or has it been kind of a pain in the ass to have to see like negative comments and people talking trash?
Nah, I fucking love it. Whichever way it is, whether it's love or hate, I love it. Just because, again, I shine brightest when people are talking about me, when they're watching me, when they're saying shit. So, of course, it's nice to be liked, but honestly, it doesn't fucking matter whether you like me or you hate me. To me, you're tuning in and watching, so I don't really give a shit. I do see that there are more eyeballs on me now. I think this fight with Higo is going to be electric. I think a lot of people are going to be tuning in for it. I know I'm getting more attention and everything, and that's great. But at the end of the day, I don't really give a fuck. A lot of MMA fans are fucking idiots, so it doesn't matter to me in general. But yeah, I'm always just going to be me. I'm always going to talk trash no matter what. And it is nice to get the eyeballs on me. But whether you love me, that's fine. Whether you hate me, that's also fine. I don't give a fuck.
The great thing about these Grand Prix is we kind of know what the schedule is. Maybe not the date, but at least who the opponent would be, right? We know that it would be Rafion Stotts next. We know what your thoughts are on him as an opponent, but it is an interim belt now. I mean, I know it's not the official belt, which is what you're really going for, but does that add something to it? I mean, would an interim title? It is still a belt to put in that beautiful trophy case over an American Top Team, right?
Yeah, and to me, it is the actual belt. It's not an interim belt. Sergio Pettis is a pussy. He couldn't even make it to the battlefield. He made up some excuse about his ACL. He wouldn't be the first person to fight on a torn ACL. We're all injured here. Nobody goes through practices and goes through a full fucking fight camp, goes into a fight fully healed. Nobody is going in feeling 100%. Obviously, he backed out, so I don't see him as the champion right now. I see Stotts as the champion. And I don't want to get too ahead of myself because I do have a big fight June 24th with Higo. So I got to have tunnel vision for that. Anything can happen in there. But it is hard not to think about that Stotts fight because it will be a massive fight. And it is for the belt. That's a matchup where I just don't see how he could beat me. He's not a finisher. He's not good on the feet. He doesn't have good jiu-jitsu on the ground. So I think I just absolutely maul him. So it's hard not to fucking think about that. Added on to that, he talks his trash, even though I think it's fucking terrible. All he does is stutter, and he has pre-scripted shit that he says. But it is going to be great. It's going to be the biggest fight in Bellator bantamweight history. But again, I got to focus on Higo, and then we'll get to Stotts, and then I'll slap him up.
Danny, as your career progresses, man, I wonder, are you, and I don't know if you've thought about much about it yet, but are you ever concerned that people will only talk about your trash talk? They'll only talk about, this personality that you have versus maybe really analyzing your skills and seeing what you bring to the cage? I mean, I guess as long as the TV's on and they're paying the ticket price, maybe it doesn't matter. But is it important to you that people do recognize who you are as a fighter, not just as, kind of the entertainment side of it as well?
Yeah, well, a bunch of the fans out there just aren't gonna know the sport too well in general. There's only a certain amount of people that truly understand fighting and actually can analyze the fight and see the setups and the traps of what's ever going on. So that part's just a little difficult. It doesn't matter if you're talking about me, whether my trash talk or my fighting. The good thing is my fighting is electric. I go in there and I dominate these guys. I torture them. I split them open. I make it bloody. My last fight, there was blood all over the canvas. I went in there with a gray canvas. I came out and it was red. My hair was fucking red because of his blood. So I do want it to make it about my fights. I want to be known about being a fucking dominant dog in there. But again, so many people just don't understand fighting. So they can talk about, whatever they want. But of course, I want it to be about my fighting. I'm a fighter first. I'm not a professional shit talker. I'm a professional fighter. And I am the best at that. I have good shit talking, but I'm an even better fighter. It just so happens that I am a good shit talker, which just makes it even better. So I don't really care if people talk about me in whatever facet they want. But I do want it to be with fighting. And again, it does play itself out the way that I am dominant there and I beat the shit out of these guys. So they should be talking about my fighting more than my trash talk.
I love it. Well, you're certainly bringing the attention to this tournament. You're bringing the attention to this fight. Like you said, tunnel vision, you got to focus here. So we won't talk too much about what's coming next, although it could be some very big things for you. But what kind of fight do we see here? I mean, is this a fight that you can go in and get out quickly, maybe finish it early? Or do you feel like this is going to be, kind of a sustained type of matchup?
Yeah, I'm just so much better than this guy everywhere. We have a set game plan, but it is a little bit loose just in case if we veer off from it. It's not a huge deal. Don't panic. Don't freak out. Don't get crazy in your mind just because I am better everywhere. I think this is going to be a total mixed martial artist fight, which is great because that's what MMA fans want to see. This isn't going to be a fight where it's only on the feet. It's not going to be a fight where it's only on the ground. It's going to be about 50-50 on the feet or on the ground, wherever the fuck I want it to go. But I do want to showcase my feet. I do want to showcase my grappling. He's a jiu-jitsu guy. So I just like to have fans know that I am just such a better grappler than him. I do want to go into his territory on the ground and just show that I'm better. And I do just want to show that I'm better on the feet. So overall, I think you're going to get a mix of both. It's going to be very exciting on the feet. I'm going to pick him apart. He's very slow. I'm the taller guy. I could keep a good range. I'm faster than him. And then again, on the ground, I think I'm going to elbow him in the face and slice him up and make it exciting there. So it's just going to be a great all-around fight. I think I could get him out of there in maybe the first or second round. But again, this is a fight where I want to torture him, where I want to punish him. I don't want him to have the easy way out. I don't want fans to say, oh, man, Higo slipped up and it was an early stoppage, or you know what, he made one little mistake. No, I want to torture him for 5 fucking rounds. Actually, 4 rounds. I see it as a 4th round TKO. But I do want to torture him first. I don't want to give him the easy way out. I think there's going to be a point in the fight where he's like, fuck this, I want out. Well, too bad. I'm not going to give it to him. I'm going to make him even more tired, make him even more bloody, and then I'm going to fucking finish him. But I need to torture him first, and then I'll get him out of there.
Dan, you bring the energy every time, man. I know you're going to be some people's favorite fighter. I know other people are just going to want to see you get your ass kicked, but I don't see why they won't tune in to see Danny Sabatello. Best of luck, my man.
Absolutely. Thank you, John.